stealing Abraham's name and putting it out there as if they're coming under the umbrella of Abraham. They're making Abraham as the center point for these accords, and it's all according to his way and his spirit that they're doing this, and it's the farthest thing from the truth that you will ever find. First of all, let's look at who are these people who are making these accords. The Christians, the Jews, and the so-called Muslims who are not Muslims. Yeah. So first of all, these three people, these three entities are all enemies of God. So whatever accord they make under whoever's name they want uh, has no bearing on the actual truth of what these people stood for, starting from Abraham and all his kin and all his children and all those that he followed, starting from Noah. So none of this is truth. It is all a convenience to bring about their planned agenda for where the society is supposed to head, or which states are going to be uh, buddies with which states, and what they will be able to do with each other, and how. That's fundamentally what I see. And this looks like a paper that is a guiding principle for that. And they use the name of Abraham. I mean, it, the aspect when they put in there that Abraham is our ancestor, I mean, how is that supposed to make a difference? I mean, Pharaoh is also our ancestor, yeah, and so is Adam, so is Noah. So why is he being called our ancestor? So that's the first item where we need to look at as to the absolute delusion and deception they're putting in front of mankind, specifically the three that call themselves followers of Abraham, or that they're his ancestor. He is their ancestor, and they're following what he brought. Yeah, they're not. Obviously, they're not. So the only way an Abraham accord would work is if you use Abraham as your leader and father, that you're going to band under Abraham. You use Abraham as an excuse to make these accords, which mean nothing. What are the accords about? Yeah, mostly peace and security. For whom?
Hmm.
In what manner? Words don't mean anything. I mean, they've written peace and security and diplomatic this and diplomat. What are you talking about? I mean, what does that actually mean? Peace and security? I mean, who's got peace and security on the earth? Who's bringing this peace and security, and who's going to be in charge of it? Nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's to take these people down the path to hell, which they're already there. I mean, it's not have to take. I mean, if you look at these so-called Christians and the so-called Jews and the so-called Muslims who are not Muslims, they're all enemies of God. I mean, accords between them, what are they worth? I mean, what are the accords between three enemies of God worth to God?
Zero.
Exactly. And they're going down as if, in his spirit, in the spirit of Abraham's faith. And since he's our no morons, no fools. He is our father and our leader, as I am a believer and a messenger of God. Yeah. He is our father and our leader. And I bind my covenant with Abraham before any of the ones after him. Those are after him. And before that, my covenant is with God and his angels and his books. This is how faith starts, not this nonsense that they write and this circumvent what actually God has written. So if there's a real believer or believers, I mean, there are not many of those, but if they were actual believers under Muhammad, yeah, they say they're following Muhammad, they're not. They say they're following Jesus, they're not. They say they're following Moses, they're not. They're not following any of them. They're following their desires and their thoughts and their mutilation of the message that was brought to them by each of them. Now, the only problem these so called Muslims have is the Quran cannot be changed. And so they change the meanings of words, they invent stories outside the Quran to circumvent, to, to put aside, to overturn what is written in the Quran. And then when you go and argue what written in the Quran to what they're saying, they'll call you some sort of heretic. Yeah. Oh, he's just a blasphemer. He doesn't understand. He hasn't gone to the right schooling. Yeah. Like what do you mean? Like what, the school that Abraham went to, and the school that Jesus went to, and the school that Moses went to, and Muhammad. Yeah. That's the exact school I've been to. Which schools have you been to? Yeah. This is the nonsense they will utter. So if there's any accord actually between a believer, it would be that our government is the Quran. There can be no other government. And if you don't accept that, then you be on your own. You are our enemies, but we're not going to fight with you, but leave us alone. We will follow the Quran while you follow your thoughts. Don't screw with us. We won't screw with you.